I don't even know what to say right now, Varnum. My stomach's in knots, and I'm excited. Don't get me wrong, I'm very excited, but there's about to be a bunch of people here, and I got to talk in front of them.
So you were just still writing your vows?
No, I wrote my vows last night, and then I rewrote them again this morning, and then another time this afternoon.
So they don't know. She doesn't know what your vows are?
No, and I don't know what hers are either.
Did you count syllables? It looked like you were still counting syllables.
Oh,
so
it was not in HIGHKu mode.
Welcome to $2 Steak, a pro wrestling podcast. I'm your host, Aaron Varnum. Joining me always is Big Mike.
What's up?
Cookie, you. And today we have a twofer. We've got the tag team, Fayetteville's finest.
Legal tag!
We actually have PvP.
What's up?
And Tolbert. Tolbert, who we didn't think was going to be here tonight. Because
I got married last night.
why weren't we invited?
You were there.
Oh, that's right. So actually, for our tie-up today, we are going to be talking about Tolbert's wedding and all the festivities that we had. Give me a rundown of how everything went yesterday. I know you were very nervous. We got to see the entire Tolbert clan there, and we got to meet Uncle Randy. We got to meet Mama T, Daddy T, Brother T.
It was the whole crew, man, extended family, and I spent the week with most of them, and I love them all dearly, and they all went home today, and it was so nice to have it and exhale and just a moment with me and Katie. But it was amazing. We had a super cool house downtown, and it was super old, historic, huge, slept 16 people, man. We partied in it, we cooked in it, we cooked all the food for the rehearsal dinner in it, man, and just enjoyed it all week. And then yesterday, partied with the boys. We had pancakes at Chris's restaurant. And
You were a mess yesterday morning.
Yeah. I thought I was gonna puke when I was eating, because that's when it's all just coming to a head, and you're getting everything together. The girls are doing their makeup and their hair, and it's starting to get real. Haven't secured my vows yet in typical fashion.
Which, if you guys follow our Twitter, you could see the picture of Tolbert just contemplating his life.
Dude, it all boiled up, and that was it.
I had a moment where I was just yep. This is happening. And actually, I finished my vows. I was just going over them. I had to write them in a little book to give to Johnny. And that was a very I don't know what kind of moment you would call that. It was great, but wonderful day. Hanging out with my boys. We were all riding in the truck together, which was actually Davenport's truck, which I've had all weekend, and he really saved the day with that. And at one point, we're all ready. We think we have everything. We're ready to go. We have a very strict timeline for pictures and all this, And I'm looking around. I'm like, we just have booze. That's all we have. We don't have any water. We don't have any, just booze. We got a bunch of liquor and a shitload of beer, right? So I had a panic moment right before, everything was supposed to go down. But we drove pretty fast through traffic and then ripped through Target on a Saturday afternoon. And it was gnarly, but we got it done. We got there and had some fun. And,
Pushing sorority girls out of the way.
Dude, not even lying. And then once you fill a Target cart up with 16 cases of LaCroix and 4 cases of water and a bunch of soft drinks, once you get that thing going, dude, it's hard to stop, man. We were just running through, people clearing the way, we're sweating, and I was wearing my Sting RoboCop shirt too.
Yeah. So nobody messed with you.
And no one was gonna fuck with me, man.
So other than that, we got together. We had a good time. We took an official $2 steak photo by your photographer with the.
That's gonna be all. That's gonna be all airbrush and nice and crazy. Oh, yeah.
Tell us about the art. When you received the art by Travis, our man Travis gave you the art this week.
Yeah, that was wonderful, because that was a really stressful morning too, and we're all running around trying to get shit done, and I'm calling Katie back and forth, and you have this moment, you're all stressed out. She's like, yeah, we got to do this. By the way, have you looked at your Facebook lately? And I was like, why? She's like, just do it. And I had a huge, just like belly laugh, like in the middle of the day, and it was awesome. I absolutely loved it.
Travis, if you guys didn't see it, Travis, our wonderful art guy, the graphic artist for $2 Steak, made us quite possibly one of the best graphics that we've ever had on the show. And he photoshopped Tolbert's face and Katie's face into that very famous SummerSlam pose of Miss Elizabeth and Macho Man Randy Savage when they got married. And it's this beautiful picture of the two, and it actually looks so natural. Katie looked like Miss Elizabeth there.
She literally looked like she was supposed to be in the photo.
And Tolbert looked like he was supposed to be in that photo, right, guys?
It looked clean. Very clean.
It's almost like Travis is a professional.
Right, like a professional graphic artist. Who would have thunk that we got a real graphic artist? So other than that, we got to party and have a fun time at the reception. Cookie, I caught him eating cake multiple times when Cookie was supposed to be losing weight.
I did try it. I had to try it at least once.
I have a picture. We will be posting that this week.
I did not finish the cake, to be fair.
Oh, because I called you out on it, and then you
took
felt
a picture of me, and I was like, I can't finish this now.
You felt regret.
I did.
Cookie
The guilt was just seeping in.
You created fat shaming.
I didn't mean to.
You were looking slim last night up until the cake, and then you were definitely a 247.
And that was your first wedding, right?
That was my first wedding, man.
That was Cookie's very first wedding that he's ever been to.
Yeah.
Are you
So
serious?
what do you think? I hope I set the bar high. So
It was
any
very
other
high,
weddings you
man. I
go
thought
to,
it was
you're like,
a
this fucking sucks.
No, it was awesome, man. I thought it was really cool. The venue was awesome. I thought it was really like rustic, almost like.
Well, it was a barn cookie.
It was a barn cookie.
It was cool. It was cool.
It was a very fun wedding, and the reception, man, we got to dance to some music. I think maybe I hope somebody got at least a picture of PBP making love to one of the posts.
My wife has the video.
him?
A
video of him slow dancing and grinding on
that post. It was awful.
I think I was about the Eiffel Tower that post with you.
Yeah, it was awfully
so-
great. That's how it was.
Drunk me likes to use inanimate objects as stripper poles, and it's kind of my thing. So
Your thing was there.
it was.
Did you catch his mom getting in there too?
She danced on it as well?
Yeah, she came in at the end of the video.
No, but I did get threatened by his mom and his sister yesterday. They're like, you need to be nicer to Matthew. And I'm like, yes, ma'am.
my sister was gonna kick your ass at one point. And I'm like,
I was like, no, I'm a UNCP grad. She's like, oh, okay, that's a little bit better. But don't you dare talk about my brother. And I'm like, yes, ma'am. I'm sorry. It was very interesting.
Yeah, it's becoming a trend now when he meets people's parents. They're like, you need to be nice to our sons.
But I'm not the one. Just because I'm running the podcast doesn't mean that I'm the one that's making fun of the people. I'm not making fun of Tolbert every week. We all are, right? And Tolbert makes fun of
I was
us.
about to say we all make fun of him.
It's a joint bullying here on this show.
I didn't make fun of Tolbert. I was just trying to do him proud with my haikus.
I know. Your HIGHKu. I don't know.
No.
It's not. I think the proper is the S at the end. So, I mean, like, we didn't know that Tolbert was going to be here today. Tolbert, we had so much fun at your wedding last night. We got to dance the night away and everything. The music, we wanted a little more heavy metal, a little less of that like, the Journey and stuff. Who listens to Journey anyway, right?
Well, dude, I was satisfied with it, man.
I know. I'm kidding. Everybody loved it.
It was great, and dude, I like to dance, man. I love my metal, but dude, I love to get down, man. So.
We danced. We had an impromptu conga line at one point.
Oh, yeah.
That was
I forgot
great.
about that.
I almost forgot about that. That was so amazing, and it was like to a really good song too. Wasn't it?
It was to dun dun dun
Fireball.
dun dun
Fireball.
Fireball by Pitbull, and everybody got. At one point, I'm like, this is the point where we got to do the conga line. So I grabbed Tolbert and Katie, and I'm like, we got to do a conga line. So we started the conga line, and I grabbed Davenport, I grabbed Cookie. Mike, were you a part of that?
I was not. I was outside talking to Randy.
You didn't dance at all, and I'm very
danced a little
disappointed.
bit.
Classic Randy.
Yeah, I'm not a big
Oh,
dancing
come on.
guy.
You talked to Uncle R?
Uncle Hart, yeah, man. Randy loves him some me. I don't know. He came to the one Charlotte match, and he just loved watching us play rugby, and he wouldn't shut up about me.
Hey, wait, I mean, like, you're 6'4". I mean, you're pretty easy to pick out.
He's like 5'3", so
right.
Yeah.
As soon as we got there, Haven and I got there early because I wanted to get some video of the reveal. What is it called? The first look. So I get video of the first look, and we sit down, and Uncle Randy just sits his ass down beside us with this huge-ass stogie in his mouth. He's like, hey, y'all, what's up? And I'm like, hey, I think I've met you before. Did you come to one of the rugby games? He's like, yeah, y'all are stupid sons of bitches, isn't it? It was 40 degrees and pouring down rain, and y'all were pulling each other's heads out of the water. And I'm like, yeah, Randy, it was... He's like, y'all are dumb, but I liked watching it. It was a lot of fun, that rugby.
Can I mention?
Oh, Tolbert's dad.
Tolbert's dad had the weirdest flex on me. I've never met him in my life. And we're standing there, and Chris had called my wife and I to come to the rehearsal dinner spot because he had a bunch of food and stuff left over. So we get there, and I'm sitting there talking to Will, Chris's brother, and his dad just walks right up to me and says, "You want to arm wrestle?" Like, I wasn't 100% sure it was Tolbert's dad at one point, but so I'm just like, I'm good, man. I don't know. I think I'm good. And then Will had to mention that he beat you, Chris, in arm wrestling. Like, your dad beat you.
Yeah, he does this when on holidays. I mean, since we're in special occasions.
There's an annual arm wrestling contest.
Yeah, when he starts drinking, it's over the top. Like, he's putting his hat backwards and ready to go. But here's the thing, man. Like, I can move some weight. I'm not a weak guy. He beats me every time.
Well, it's because, and I told your brother this. I said your dad has both old man strength and dad strength.
Exactly. And he's got some, like, crazy technique he probably
goes over the
somewhere. Yeah, he goes over the top.
Yeah, you get that wrist in
he does it
the
just
right
like
position.
Stallone. Except he has full custody of me.
But that was
I'll say you're 33.
Yeah.
I was married off yesterday.
He's no longer a dependent, guys. He's no longer.
Genuinely the only interaction I had with Chris's dad all weekend, though, was that.
He didn't. I didn't really get to talk to him yesterday. I did see him having fun. I will tell you, Haven and I were just listening. There was a band playing before the music, and I look over, and there's just this man standing like 5 feet in front of them, just staring at them. And like Haven's like, that would be very intimidating to have like just a man staring and listening to the music, just not making a sound or anything, just standing arms to the side, just looking at the band play. And I'm like, oh, that's Mr. Tolbert right there.
That's my dad. He's just chilling.
He loves that bluegrass music.
He's like, which one do you want to arm wrestle?
I want to go for the boy with the stand-up bass.
Yeah,
That's heavy.
Don't go messing with a country boy, a country boy, a country boy. Don't go messing with a country boy, don't mess with a country boy.
All right, for our first matchup of the evening, and it's not even really a matchup, Big Mike this week in honor of Tolbert's wedding, I assigned you Uncle Elmer's wedding. And I know that people think about famous professional wrestling weddings. You think of Randy and Elizabeth. You think of Billy and Chuck. Well, this is one of the first televised weddings in WWF history. Tell me a little bit about Elmer and Joyce's wedding.
All right, so it opens up, and you got, and I had no idea who pretty much any of these people are.
Yeah, that's fine.
But it opens up, and Elmer's just standing in the ring, and Elmer's a big man,
Like a Haystack Calhoun kind of guy.
not that big, but he's huge. And Andre's in the ring, Andre the Giant, and like they could go toe to toe.
Oh yeah, I think so too.
So that's Uncle Elmer. Vince and it's Jesse Ventura, right?
Yes.
On commentary, we get a good cut to Gene playing the organ, which I don't think he was actually playing.
I think he was. I would like to think that Mean Gene Okerlund, Gene Tiny Dick Okerlund could be playing the organ.
Didn't they have Hulk Hogan playing the guitar in one thing?
That was
and
not,
then he was not playing the guitar.
that was during a music video. That was something else.
But so here's the one thing that maybe Gene was playing, because there's a couple notes that are missed early on, and Jesse just wouldn't let up on that. Jesse's clearly anti everything about this entire thing.
Right. He wants to see professional wrestling. He wants to see it taken seriously.
Yeah. I'll get to it in a little bit, but how he was dressed, it was just obscure. And so we get to the ceremony. Joyce, who is Joyce?
I think it was. So this was a legit couple, a shoot couple in professional wrestling terms. It was just his girlfriend at the time.
All right, fiance.
Fiancé.
All right, so she's walking down, and it's in the classic '80s dress. She looked very good, but
Very nice.
Definitely like out of date nowadays. But who cares? So we go through the ceremony. At one point, I felt really bad about this, especially when you think that it, or when you told me that it was like an actual wedding. Somebody from the stands like throws something,
And it hits her.
hits her in the face,
And you see Elmer's face. like,
Elmer like clearly. Well, one, I mean, you're emotionally like. It's already like on edge kind of situation.
I saw Tolbert yesterday. I know.
He's an angry wrestler guy, probably. Like he probably wanted to just go beat somebody's ass,
Right.
And so I felt really bad about that. But
Was it work?
Oh, what, did somebody throwing that? Somebody.
because the whole dynamic is back and forth. We're having this wedding, and then I don't want to get too far ahead, but that's the.
Well, I think somebody legitimately in the audience, being an asshole fan, threw something and hit him, and then Jesse Ventura, laughed about it the whole time.
yeah. I normally like Jesse.
I do too.
I've had a couple matches where I really appreciated his commentary. I didn't like Jesse in this though.
I kind of like I thought he was kind of funny.
I don't know. Maybe at the end. But we get through the ceremony and they get to the part where they're like, "Speak now or forever hold your peace." Whatever.
Right.
Roddy Piper comes out, cuts a sick promo.
Great promo, and the fans ate it up.
Man, he was hot, like white hot. Like I'm surprised we haven't done much Piper.
Well, now speaking of the rowdy one. Next week, and I think Cookie has stepped ahead of the game because he picked the
I'm
wrong
ahead of the
match
game
this
here.
week.
Whoa, wait, what?
You picked the wrong match this week. I'm calling you out, Cookie. So next week on the show, Mike actually gets Goldust versus Roddy Piper from WrestleMania, which is actually one of my. It is a studio backlot brawl in Hollywood, and it's one of the greatest moments of professional wrestling history.
But Cookie stole a Piper match and has one.
No. So
No, I
Cookie,
didn't know.
Cookie watched the wrong match that I assigned
Watch
him.
next week's match instead of this week's
Okay,
match.
but it's not a Piper match, so that's fine.
It's not a Piper.
Oh yeah,
match.
good. I want a
course
Piper
not.
match.
Piper wasn't
But he
in
cuts a
Japan.
good promo, and then they show the reception area, which looks like it's going to be in a barn. Not a barn like we were in yesterday. But
It was similar. There was some similar, very rustic feel.
Rustic.
rustic.
and,
Why are y'all hating on me? I think that was a good adjective to describe that venue.
It's actually what it's called, Cookie. They call it rustic chic or some bullshit like that.
This was just rustic. It's not rustic chic.
Sorry, guys. I'm
and
naive to this.
it's funny though because there's pigs in the barn, and
Right.
Ventura does have a line where he says like, "Oh, and the guests are arriving."
Well, there was one thing that you missed. So this week's links for Mike, it's a two-parter. So the first part is the wedding ceremony. That's about 7 minutes. And then the wedding reception, which is 5 minutes. There is one line in there when they say you can kiss the bride and Elmer plants one on Joyce.
Oh, and he said they look like two carps
Fighting over corn.
in the Mississippi River, fighting over the bite of corn.
And then Vince McMahon does a legit what did you just say?
And then he says the whole thing again.
No. I said it's like two carp fighting over a piece of corn. And I'm like, oh my God.
And again, so maybe I the second time I watched it with you guys,
Right
before this, I did laugh more than I did earlier. Partly because I wasn't feeling great this morning, but I think I started to find the joy because at first I was like, this is an actual wedding, and Ventura's just like shitting all over it. And, and like that's going to be their memory. Like every time they pull it up on YouTube.
Well, Uncle Elmer's dead. I'm sorry to say.
I kind of would have assumed that.
Yeah, the big boy didn't have that much of a life left.
All right, so we get to the actual reception.
My favorite part.
We have a table. It's Vince, Hulk Hogan. Was it Paul Orndorff?
Paul Orndorff.
And Jesse Ventura.
Jesse Ventura.
And Jesse Ventura makes a comment. He makes a point to let everybody know that he is dressed down for the occasion. And what did he say in his?
In Keith Richards, he explained it somehow that he's trying to look like Keith Richards, but he looks just like a punk rock guy from that.
Yeah, it's
awful.
It's terrible. But it goes. They start interviewing people in the reception. I really appreciated this. So Uncle Lou starts getting talked to.
Right.
Gene's talking to him. And Lou hits you with a piece of life advice that I
Right.
try to explain to everybody.
This is Lou Albano.
Me more so explaining this to people when you eat wings, like chicken wings, one hand. That's all you got to use. You only use your left hand. And Lou goes on this big rant about how you only eat with your left hand in case you got to pat somebody on the back, or in case something happens, you need your right hand. You don't want it to be all covered in food.
It reminded me of that old Sports Center commercial where Dan Patrick was eating the wings and had barbecue sauce all over both of his hands and patted somebody on the back and wiped his hands off on the little kid. If he would have just been using one hand.
One hand. Life advice right there, people. So then we get, it went from Lou to the Lanny Poffo poem. Lanny Poffo is a weird dude. Poffo.
So this is Randy Savage's brother.
Yeah, I know that, but he's just so weird.
He's an odd guy.
Well, they took the shot of him. He's wearing his shoot wrestling gear.
Yeah, he's shirtless at a wedding reception.
And also he's wearing his trunks, and it looks like they're scanning across the table, and it just looks like a naked dude because you can't see
and he's got a just a top lip mustache, not a full grown in mustache, so it just looks weird. And then he wrote a poem with like the most simple rhyme scheme.
Right.
It sounded like if we would have had Davenport write a poem for his things.
Right. It's no Tolbert it's no.
Sorry, you're just sitting there on your phone.
Oh, he's watching his match.
Oh,
again.
okay, I had to get a dig
He's
in.
taking his notes in so he can write his haiku.
And then the most obscure thing,
You should have seen the part that he's at right now.
Tiny Tim.
Tiny Tim, my boy, Tiny Tim.
And can you play a clip so everybody knows what Tiny Tim is?
Oh, I'm playing it right now.
All right.
So can I tell you a little bit about Tiny Tim?
Because I'm so confused why he's there.
Tiny Tim, and he had a little bit of stuff with. He interacted with WWE a little bit, like I think during the 80s, during the Rock and Wrestling Connection. Tiny Tim became famous in the 1970s. He had a song, which you're hearing right under it right now, called Tiptoe Through the Tulips. And somehow it was one of those novelty one-off, one-hit wonders that became a big deal. He started getting... he's this tall guy. He's very weird looking.
He's got terrible posture.
Terrible hair. And people interviewed him on late night television. He was on Laugh-In. He was on The Tonight Show. And on The Tonight Show, he was married. So he had a live on air wedding.
Okay.
And because of this, he was like the talk of the town. It was like, this was a time when if you were weird and you were a little bit charismatic, they'd put you on television and you could make a career out of that sort of thing. He played ukulele, had a terrible voice.
Yeah.
And they put him on television because of this.
Well, he gives Elmer and what was her name? Joyce.
Joyce.
Gives Elmer and Joyce the ukulele, and Elmer says, "I love it." This big man holding this tiny little ukulele. It was pretty funny. We eventually get to Jesse Ventura starts reading a poem, and it's drawing you in, right? It's talking about whatever he was talking about, love and all this sort of stuff, and then he shoots on him, and
he cuts a promo.
He cut a promo about how what did he say? Get it? Not in wrestling.
He called everything wrong.
Wrong, yeah. But he wasn't a fan of weddings in wrestling. And then he, what was the big guy?
So that's
Hillbilly Jim.
Hillbilly Jim. Tell me about Hillbilly Jim's reactions during this poem.
All right, so while he was reading it, they're cutting to Jim and they were cutting to Hulk Hogan and Paul.
Right.
And like you get those like shots of like, oh, this is really nice, and then he starts going wrong. It's wrong, and then Hillbilly Jim gets really upset.
Hillbilly Jim does the classic, like, what?
Oh, shocked. And so, long story short, Jim throws Jesse into the cake. That's it.
And then Mean Gene Okerlund. Oh, that's it for tonight. Well, stay tuned. We're going to a commercial break.
Yeah.
So your final thoughts? It was not as funny as you thought. It was funnier the second time.
It was funnier the second time. Classic wrestling fans hate wrestling fans. Like whoever threw that's kind of a giant douche.
Well, so here's the deal. Think of it like this way. This is a time when Vince McMahon's buying up all of these territories. People are so used to the regional wrestling, and they're seeing guys beat the crap out of each other. There's blood, there's guts. It is legit heat between these men, and it is a serious sport to these people. You turn on WWF on NBC. They were nationally televised on this because it was on Saturday night's main event, right?
Okay.
And you see a wedding. Do you think my great-grandma, who was used to seeing Chief Wahoo McDaniel beat the shit out of somebody, do you think that she would have watched that crap?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, probably a little bit. But you know what I mean?
I can appreciate it, but, you know.
It was entertainment.
And it was only one person being stupid, but I don't know. It was entertaining as a spectator, knowing that it was their actual wedding. I'm not.
It made
a big
you
fan.
uncomfortable.
Yeah, it definitely made me uncomfortable.
Are you getting out of here, Tolbert?
Yeah, I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna head out and spend some time with my beautiful wife and get my house back in order. It's insane right now. And
wait, no. Tolbert has to sit through the social media update.
No,
okay.
I mean, he can.
Hey, wait. I'll hang up for the social media.
Well, there's a big announcement at the social media update.
All right. So anyway, we'll get to the social media because there's not much else to talk about.
Right, that's it. It was a wedding.
Yeah.
In honor of it.
All right. Instagram. Tolbert has held steady at 91 followers.
I was busy with something. I can't remember what.
What was that thing again? That you had going on?
The only post on the Instagram was actually me posting the Tolbert and Katie wedding picture.
So Dean Malenko is the man of 1,000 holds. Chris Tolbert is the man of 1,000 excuses.
Armbar.
Twitter, drum roll. We are at 206 followers.
Yeah, and I found this out, I think, at the wedding venue.
At the rehearsal
the
dinner.
rehearsal dinner, yeah.
I had taken a screenshot when we got to 200 exactly. I sent it to the boys, and they were all really excited. Tolbert had his phone on him all day. It happened on a Friday. I mean, that's kind of what happened.
Oh,
right?
no shit.
And then I literally told him, I was like, hey, man, I got to 200 today. And he goes, oh, really? Yep. Katie was really... I mean, everybody had been drinking a little bit. Katie really thought we were going to try to put you through one of those farm tables at the reception last night.
So she legitly did.
I was like, Katie, no, we have like a shitty old table we're going to use. But Justin and I were talking. We're hoping it's not crappy enough that it hopefully stops your fall a little bit.
I think it will. So we were going around. My brother gets married next weekend, and we were going around the venue for the rehearsal, and I found this terrible table. And Davenport and I looked at each other, and we thought that it was a legit good table for his fall.
Now thinking about it, though, it might be a little too flimsy to not stop Tolbert from slamming the ground. It's that bad.
So there might be photographic evidence from a professional photographer of us practicing the jump. And
Yeah. Well, that's right. I'm worried Tolbert's not going to be able to jump high enough.
I got hops, man. I do box jumps. I got hops.
Right.
I might be chunky, but
all right.
I can.
That's
You
right.
have to hold him up.
I know. I'm
I'm
gonna spot his back. Yeah.
Tolbert gets high enough.
Oh yeah. There also might be a photograph of me stinger splashing Davenport. I can't quite remember.
Oh God! All right. Well, that I think that it's
Don't
a very
call me
good
for that
time.
memory.
So, Mike, now is time for our new segment that people are clamoring over. Did you give us this? Are we already dropping the ball on this?
No, I haven't. Let me just pull him up real fast.
This is Big Mike's shit list.
Yeah.
All right, Mike,
right.
hit me with the shit list.
All right, we're gonna go with Wayne Myrick. It just says Walking Dead, WWE, Chicago Cubs, Alabama, Pittsburgh Penguins, Pittsburgh Steelers, Boston Celtics. These are a few of my favorite things.
Wait, so he likes
Chicago and Pittsburgh, and
I don't know.
That
man.
is like the guy doesn't have his
odd
shit together.
combination.
Yeah, no,
of-
he's definitely just kind of all over the place. And you know what? He's not one of my favorite things because he's a piece of shit.
And that's why he makes Big Mike's shit list.
All right, we got AC Bomb, Aiden Carrick. His bio says, yeah. Well, Aiden,
That's it. That's all it says.
I'm gonna go ahead and say, nah.
You've made Mike's shit list.
Fuck you, Aiden. All right, I got one more. All right, so his handle is All Pro Wrestling Critic. He says, I do my best to give fair critiques to everything involving professional wrestling, from matches, promos, promotions, wrestling politics. Sometimes I'm even funny. Yeah. No.
-5 cookies. You've made Mike's shit list.
Oh, I was going to continue shitting on him.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mike.
Rewind.
You're back off the list.
Well,
I mean, take him off real
He's
quick.
got 206 followers. Actually, much like we do now. I think we're funnier and better looking, and we know less about professional wrestling.
That's right. That's right. You've made Mike's shit list.
There we go.
All right, for our second match of the evening, we have got Tomohiro Ishii versus Toru Yano. Oh, wait, actually we don't. That's next week because Cookie fucked up. Cookie.
Hey, wait. That's the biggest botch I think we've had, Cookie.
Oh, here we go. Everybody's
What?
a critic.
Cookie.
Everybody's a critic.
When I sent you this week's episode
You know what?
rundown,
Y'all shouldn't have got me so drunk last night. How about that?
Cookie, you were drunk on carbs at one point, and
I eat one piece of cake. I ain't eating the whole cake. I
you
ate half the
danced.
cake.
I was so proud you were dancing so much last night.
I liked it. It was
you
so much
probably you.
What did you weigh this morning?
Shut the fuck up, Davenport.
So Davenport and I mean, like I've got pictures. I sent them to the
Yeah.
group chat today of Cookie doing the wobble. Cookie doing. Haven danced with you for a while. I danced with you for a while. Davenport, Mike just stood around and talked to Uncle
He was talking
Randy.
to Uncle Randy, yeah.
Can we go back talking about Cookie? Obviously, he was late today again, as normal.
Yeah.
Guess
I'm
who
gonna
was the
change my
last
ways.
person to show up to Panda's house for the van ride?
Yeah. So how were you late?
I forgot the most important thing, which is Tolbert's wedding gift. So I had to turn back around.
You could have given
and
it to
go
him
get
today.
I could have, but I wanted to give it to him yesterday.
That's so sweet. Your first wedding, you don't want to fuck that
I
up.
don't want to fuck that up because how much shit?
That's
would you
bad
give me?
juju, yeah, that's
I was
bad
gonna get
juju.
shit regardless. To be fair.
I mean, we're
So-
giving you shit
At
anyway.
that point,
Yeah, I was
like
gonna get-
he already knew he was probably going to be the last person, so he's like, well, fuck it. I'll just turn around. Who cares?
I was late with the van by
Yeah.
like 10 minutes, and I'm like, Cookie's gonna be so much shit for being late.
Yeah.
And then I pull in, I'm like, unless Cookie rode somebody, he's not here yet.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of
Oh
like,
my God.
I'm already,
halfway.
it's 3:15. I'm like, we gotta get going. It's like 20, 30 minutes away. Cookie, where are you? Because I'm about to leave you.
And then it's sure enough, like he's about to crank up the van, and I roll right in.
Well,
like, perfect
also,
timing.
and just like Tolbert, the wedding started 10 minutes late, so it was fine. Y'all would have been fine.
It would have been fine. Absolutely.
All right, so your match that you actually did was Tiger Masks 2 against La Fiera.
And this is my second Tiger Mask match.
but this is
it's
a different Tiger
It's a
Mask.
different Tiger Mask though. And the first one was stellar, and this one followed suit. La Fiera, for people at home, and mind you, this is the mid 80s, right? It's the 85, 84,
Yep.
something like that. So glam rock is still in. He has like an androgynous style. He looks kind of feminine, but he looks like a mix of Freddie Mercury and that lead singer from Kiss with the dog collar around his neck. You know what I'm talking about? With the fucking
Gene Simmons?
No, not Gene Simmons. The lead singer.
Oh,
Dude,
Paul Stanley.
That's it. Paul Stanley. That's exactly who he looks like.
I'm looking at him now because I didn't watch this week's match because I watched the real this week's match. I haven't watched your match yet. Yeah, he's got a good look to him. He's got some very fluffy hair.
He's got a funky style, but he's cool. And then Tiger Mask, of course, looks like Tiger Mask. He has a tiger cape and a tiger mask. But the match starts off really, really slow. It's more of a they're trying to figure each other out. It's more of a lot of leg kicks and a lot of like tie-ups. They started with doing some shoulder blocks, arm drags. They both were basically just showing off their athleticism
Right.
for the most part. And it really starts to pick up when they start trading shoulder blocks. Then one of them does a drop down and another one leapfrogs over the other one. Someone does a monkey flip. And Tiger Mask catches Fiera off guard with a monkey flip that throws him literally across the freaking ring. Like, I'm talking about one side to the other. And then Tiger Mask, he does this like weird kind of flip over the ropes. He kind of fakes like he's gonna go out.
Dude, that was a huge bump though. That was great.
A huge bump, but it was pretty cool. Like I don't know how he's very athletic, and I was wondering, do you know who exactly he is?
For this
Tiger
one,
Mask 2.
Tiger Mask 2, stand by. I'll get it to you in 1 second. I know the first one, I think, was... just keep going. I'll find it for you.
I was just wondering, did either of them do anything else besides the Tiger Mask gimmicks? Did anyone move outside
and actually,
of the mask?
And it was kind of a pretty cool thing. Like, so the first one was Sayama, and he was Tiger Mask 1. Tiger Mask 2 was portrayed by Mitsuharu Misawa.
Didn't I have a match of his?
Yes, it's the guy with the green pants that died in the ring.
Oh, yeah. I did not know that.
Yeah, the big dude, like
Yeah.
the chunky dude.
That
like,
was him?
Yes, apparently he gained a lot of weight after this. He started off as Tiger Mask 2.
Wow. Very, very, very surprising there. Anyway, so Fiera, we're going to change it up. So Fiera gets into a headlock. He pushes Tiger Mask off, and then Tiger jumps onto the top ropes. He's literally jumping, guys, from the mat straight up to the top ropes, and moonsaults back over Fiera, and then lands on his feet and hits a tilt-a-whirl slam on Fiera. Very cool spot right there. And then Tiger hits a back body drop on a charging Fiera. Tiger starts working ahead again with the headlock, and then Fiera breaks out and drops kick Tiger right out of the ring. Fiera hits a perfect crossbody from the top rope to the outside. Fiera is showing off his athleticism as well. This he's actually really gifted. And then Fiera suplexes Tiger back into the ring from the apron.
A very like lucha libre style.
It is almost. And I was going to ask you, is Fiera?
Yeah. So he was a lucha libre wrestler.
He is. Oh, okay. So I love matches like that when you can have those two contrasting styles, because I feel like they blend well together when you have someone else who's very athletic.
They're very very athletic dudes.
And you can see, I think Tiger Mask has some of that lucha libre style in him. So I was wondering, did he ever cross over into the...
Yeah, so I think at that time, and the Tiger Mask gimmick was very popular internationally. They let the original one go across and wrestle for WWF a little bit, and probably they would probably send Tiger Mask 2 over to get some seasoning in different parts of the country or the world as well.
That makes sense. All right, well, Fiera picks Tiger up and slams him with a tombstone pile driver of all things. Kind of surprised me. It was a really good one. It was very believable. And then he goes, which I think would have been an automatic win in the WWE style match, of course. But Fiera follows up with a froggy splash. I wish Tolbert was here. I could hear him say froggy. He gets the 2 count though. But anyway, so a scoop slam from Fiera. Then Tiger hits a cross body, and then Tiger launches Fiera with a back body drop to the outside. And this is something that was a really cool spot. You see him hit Fiera with a running senton to the outside, and I think Finn Balor would be pretty proud of that if I do say so myself. And then Fiera smashes his head into the turnbuckle, goes for a swanton bomb from the top. A lot of popular moves I feel like were set between maybe these two wrestlers back in the day. And I don't know if they invented some of these, but again, very athletic match. You get a scoop slam and a running senton from Tiger, a la Bray Wyatt. And then Tiger is thrown into the corner, and he springs up to the top rope once again and hits a crossbody.
Not as pretty as the other one.
No,
that one looked a little rough.
It looked like he was about to slip, honestly.
Right.
I was about to call the botch, and he almost lost the cookie for that one, but he didn't. He made it look pretty good.
Jesus Christ, I just saw that swanton bomb. Like, Jeff Hardy goes out with it. That was just like...
He literally just turned over. Like,
that is awesome. That's a great move.
Oh, my God. All back. Just straight back into the mat. But you know how some wrestlers will Irish whip and then the other wrestler will drop down to the stomach. So you know what I'm talking about? They'll do that little drop down. Instead of hurtling over, Tiger Mask does a front flip over and lands on his feet. Just because he fucking can, of course.
Beautiful.
It looks amazing. And then you get a kick to the chest, and it leads to a Tiger suplex, and you get a 3 count to win for Tiger Mask. It was a really solid match. It was a fun match. It wasn't as athletic as that first match that I had with him, but it was definitely a solid match. And it looks like there's still some bad blood after the match. between the two after the win. Fiera looks like he still wants to attack Tiger Mask after the end.
He got a big ass trophy though.
He did, and that was my next point. Tiger Mask ends up winning some kind of ambiguous trophy. Of course, no one speaks Japanese here. So
yeah. So it says it was the 4th day of a tournament, the AJPW Superpower Series from 1984. Think about that though, like 1984, that style of wrestling, very groundbreaking style.
It is, and I want to know a little bit more about. Do you know any more about Fiera?
Fiera died in 2010. He was stabbed 5 times. He was a NWA World Welterweight Champion for a little while.
Wow.
He actually went on to hold the NWA World Middleweight Championship for a little while. Lost the belt, and then had a good little career in CMLL, which was a big Mexican wrestling promotion.
Wow.
God, that's crazy though. He was stabbed 5 times,
Jesus
killed in
Christ, that's
2010.
cold,
Is that like a bar fight or something?
I don't know. It's just I'm looking it up, and he is. Oh, his father also a wrestler. His father's name was Hercules Poblano, the Hercules from Puebla,
Oh,
Interesting.
and his brother wrestled as Angel Poblano.
oh.
There you go,
Well,
folks.
how about that? So to end my segment, of course, with the cookie count, I'm gonna give this one 4 cookies.
4 cookies.
We'll
We
give
got
4
2
cookies.
solid ones in a row.
It had a slow start, and there was a point in the beginning where I had to say, "All right, wrap it up, boys. Let's
Yeah, but
get
it
to
built. It built a little bit.
Oh, it built up pretty quickly too, and it turned out to be a really good match.
Well, so next week you're going to have to do the Ishii match
Ishii.
against Yano. So
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah,
are you going to
okay.
remember that, or are you going to
Yeah,
give me
yeah,
another
no,
review
fine.
for Tiger Mask 2 versus
Believe me,
La Fiera?
I will remember next week.
Okay.
Hopefully.
Started this dance in my neighborhood. Now everybody's doing it because it feels so good. All you need is a partner that know how to move, and the rest is real easy. Just dig the groove.
All right, for our final matchup of the evening, the High Spot featuring special guest commentator and the real 5th member of the $2 Steak podcast crew. We have got Peanut Butter Pancake, and you have got
Junkyard Dog and Terry Funk.
Terry Funk against Junkyard Dog.
Yeah, so the first thing that happens when watching the video is Junkyard Dog is a huge black man, and immediately I thought, they can't do this in 2019 because he's wearing a collar and chains.
He's a
around his-
junkyard dog.
He's a junkyard
Yeah,
dog.
but I'm like, it's 2019. Can't. But either way,
Yeah.
so he's got
Yeah.
that collar and chains. Terry has assless chaps, assless cowboy chaps.
You also can't do that in 2019.
No, you can.
That's
No,
more
you can.
acceptable, I
Is that
think.
more acceptable?
That's more
Okay.
acceptable. Assless champ.
And who's his promoter?
That was Jimmy Hart.
Okay, because I kept on in my notes.
mouth
kept on
of the
writing
South.
Promoter or
Oh, God, Jimmy Hart.
The mouth of the shell.
So Jimmy Hart has some weird musical note suit, bolo tie, and a bullhorn.
That was his thing.
Jimmy
That
Hart was
that's his
actually,
shtick.
he was a musician before he was a professional wrestler manager. He was, if you've ever heard the song, Keep on Dancing, dun, 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 shake it, shake it, baby.
Yeah.
Keep it-
Show you how to work.
Yeah.
Keep it going. I
Got
don't
your
know if I-
emotion,
Do you know the whole
dancing
song?
and a prancing, keep on.
There it
dancing
is.
and a prancing.
We're gonna
Yeah,
get
that
so
was-
many views.
that was Jimmy Hart. Jimmy Hart was a musician. He actually also wrote a lot of the music that the wrestlers came out to.
Did you write Terry Funk's music?
No, Terry Funk. His
Wrote his
music
own
is
music.
is written.
Terry Funk is a god. Don't you dare disrespect him.
Don't
like
fuck
that.
up with Terry Funk.
So Terry ends up climbing into the ring with his back again to Junkyard Dog, and Jimmy Hart was like yelling, trying to warn Terry that Junkyard Dog was coming at him, and like Terry's yelling at one of the fans in the audience. Junkyard Dog then snatches him up, throws him up over the ropes, and then slams him back down onto the mat. Junkyard Dog then goes after Jimmy Hart. And then Jimmy Hart, climbs underneath the ring, I guess. Terry goes to climb over top of the ropes. And then Junkyard Dog turns around, sees that he's straddling the ropes, grabs his legs, and then starts slamming him up and down, racking his balls against the top rope.
The very first dick spot of the night for
I didn't
Terry
say
Funk.
dick yet.
Oh, I know.
So,
Jimmy Hart.
no, I'm following where my notes are at. Junkyard Dog goes out of the ring. Nope, past that. Junkyard Dog climbs back into the ring. The promoter climbed from under the ring with Terry's branding iron. Terry runs out of the ring and starts trying to rip his cowboy chaps. The promoter, Jimmy Hart, he runs over and like just kind of rips him off, and then Terry finally comes back in the ring, and then they actually start wrestling. They bind up. Terry grabs him, picks him up. Junkyard Dog slams him on the mat. Goes to do like an elbow drop. I don't know what it is. He ran to the.
It was an elbow drop.
Yeah. He misses. Junkyard Dog then picks up Terry and slams him on the mat. And then at this point, obviously Jimmy Hart is out of the ring. So Junkyard Dog picks him up for a second time, holds him up in the air for a second, walks over the edge of the ring, and tries to go throw him at Jimmy. Tries to throw Terry at Jimmy Hart.
That was a hard spot throwing them to
And
the
we
outside
just we're
with
watching
no
this.
mats.
It was we're watching it as it goes along. Give me some of the higher spots of it. You're just giving me like a breakdown. Tell me, what did you think about this matchup? Like, were you entertained by it?
Yeah, it was good. It was later on, Terry's laying on the mat, and Junkyard Dog ends up like getting on all fours and barking, slamming the mat, and starts headbutting Terry. And I'm like, what is going on?
He was a dog, man.
Yeah, Junkyard Dog. What do you think that thump meant on his butt?
Yeah. He's gonna give you the thump.
Okay, that's the other thing I didn't understand was like, what does the thump mean?
Mike?
All I know is when I had a Junkyard Dog match and I saw it on his ass, and I'm like, I cracked up, and I cracked up again when I turn on the video now, and I see thump.
Dude, he is a thick dude.
He's a big boy.
I also want to say in this, so it's 85. So Terry is, I think, becoming like his full form.
Right.
In this, like he's got the beginnings of his Terry bod.
Yes.
Like that you see like in the 90s and things. So I'm appreciating this as we go.
So Terry Funk, he started off in Amarillo, Texas, and had his run as a baby face, and then in the 70s he had his run for NWA, was an NWA World Heavyweight Champion, and he was just this different guy. In the 80s start, and Terry starts becoming this man. This entity that is Terry Funk that we love and appreciate so much. And I wanted to instill upon you the beauty of Terry Funk.
Well, I appreciate that.
Okay, tell me a little bit more about the matchup.
So after he throws Terry out of the ring, Jimmy Hart goes to go help Terry and like starts trying to help him up, and Terry doesn't realize it's Jimmy and starts going to go fight Jimmy Hart, and then he has him in this like chokehold or not chokehold, but has him around the collar, and he's like drawn back, and then he goes, "Oh wait, you're not Junkyard Dog."
You're not a 6'8" black man.
Yeah. Oh, you couldn't tell that from
rolling around with them.
Hey, don't hit me, baby!
You got 100 pounds lighter in the matter of seconds. But that's the end of my notes because I didn't show up with any
So you're not going to tell me about?
Oh no,
Davenport! I'm so disappointed in you because Terry Funk hits him with the megaphone, right? Gets the win. Terry Funk beats Junkyard Dog with help from Jimmy Hart. The branding iron comes into play. They fight over this branding iron, and the end of this matchup may be one of the greatest things ever to happen to Jimmy Hart. Tell me what happened.
Oh, so Junkyard Dog, like I said, loses, and they fight over the branding iron, and then Junkyard Dog ends up pulling Jimmy Hart's pants off,
right?
And he's wearing cute little tidy whities,
beautiful red.
He's got
panties.
red breeches on.
Yeah. And they have hearts on them or something too, don't they?
No, it's just solid, beautiful red panties. And
then Junkyard Dog proceeds to brand his ass. I thought that was very
do you
nice.
think can we brand you at some point with the $2 steak logo? Would you be $2 steak brand worthy?
Probably not.
Are we gonna do it like
if
what?
we get up to 400 followers on Twitter?
400 followers on Twitter. Can we brand you?
Probably not.
All right. Dang it. Right, so do I need to give you... So for this next challenge, right? Do I need to give you the reins of Tolbert's thing, his login? Are you going to be able to sustain and get these followers that you're promising?
Oh,
us?
for the Instagram.
Yeah, for the Instagram.
Yeah, I can try.
You think?
Yeah.
All right, we might be able
You
to
want
do
me to
that.
try to get to 200?
What's wrong with the job Tolbert's doing?
No. We're gonna have
the
like
once a month
it's
posting
gonna be
obviously isn't working.
Yeah, I mean, he runs the Facebook page for people and stuff, so, and it's good. He's a vote. I would vote him in as a social media captain for the $2 Steak podcast. Guys, now that we have gotten the match out of the way, here's the special moment. Tell me. It's not ready.
No. I've got the first and last line. I don't have the
All right, well, give me the first and last line.
First line. Pull it up. Ride these ring ropes, funk.
Ride these ring ropes, funk. Okay. And then the last
line,
one.
Let me see them cheeks.
Let me see them cheeks. Let's come up with an impromptu second line for that. We've got the first two. Those are solid 2 lines. The second line, let's do Terry, branding, iron. No. Let's
Bark, bark. Here comes a headbutt.
bark, bark. Here comes a. That was it. All right, give it to me full. Give me the full haiku now. This is a team effort this week.
Ride these ring ropes, funk. Bark, bark. Here comes a headbutt. Let me see them cheeks.
Boom! That is one of the best. That is one of the best haikus we've ever had.
Good. And it provided a really encapsulated version of what the match was.
Exactly, and that's what the haiku is. That's what
the essence.
The essence of the haiku. And I love it when Tolbert says one and we don't pop for it, and he's like, "I thought that was going to get a pop." And then he starts boo-hooing about it. Alistair Blacken. Oh. All right.
Oh, man. Do you want to fight Alistair Black?
No.
Apparently nobody does.
Oh, poor Alistair.
Because they don't know where he's at.
He's in some room.
He's probably in a closet in the Midwest.
All right.
You want to fight the booty toucher, don't you?
The booty, the butt. I'm not even going to talk about that right now. All right, to end this matchup, to end this evening here with $2 Steak, folks, we had a great weekend. We have a rundown for next weekend. Cookie's going to get his shit together and review.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to be early next week.
You are not going to be early, and you're not going to lose weight. So
I almost said if you're early next week, I'll get the brand, but no.
Oh, you heard it. You heard it here first.
I said no afterwards.
Cookie's
I said
just
I
never gonna leave
almost
the house.
and then said no.
Now I get to see
You
my
still
uncle
have to
next
Google to
week.
get here.
My uncle is he blacksmiths on the side, and I'm gonna see if he can get us a brand.
Does something like that.
You've met this uncle. It's Uncle Roger. Oh, wait, maybe you haven't met Uncle Roger.
I think I met Uncle Roger.
You met
He
Uncle
came to
Roger.
Charlotte.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
He can blacksmith some stuff. I'll give him the logo, and
Nice.
we'll get a nice medium rare steak on those cheeks of PvP. Mike,
Yeah.
you good?
No, the Steelers lost.
Oh.
0-3.
Do you
That's kind of why I was out of it during my segment, because they were doing a 2-minute drill.
Yeah, well, you know what, man? Welcome to the world of professional sports. It's always a letdown, unless you're Belcher.
At least your team didn't lose to Uncle Rico this week.
Yeah.
The Titans lost to Gardner Minshew, whatever. the fuck.
He's a good-looking guy.
He's genuinely Florida man.
He is. Yeah.
He is Florida man.
He's Florida man.
He's a good-looking guy.
2AT.
Folks, thank you for listening to $2 Steak, a pro wrestling podcast. We will hear from you. You will hear from us next weekend or next Tuesday. I guess that would be the time that this podcast comes out. Congratulations to Katie and Tolbert.
Yeah, congratulations to Tolbert and Katie.
We love you. And don't make Mike's shit list. Don't make Mike's shit list.